this is Amy Warden with Great Cake Soapworks, and this is the first of the weekly soap challenges. Today we're going to be doing an in the pot swirl, and we're going to be doing two different soaps. The first one with just one color, and then the second one I'm going to challenge myself and do 5 colors, which I've never done before. So I would challenge you to do one more color than you've ever done before. If you've never done an in the pot swirl, then you want to start out with just one color. And then we're also going to do a little bit of swirling on the top of the soap as well. So let's get started with the first soap. Alright, for the first soap, I am using a discoloring fragrance that has a lot of vanilla in it. And so my one color is going to be a white swirl. There's lots of different ways that you can do that one color swirl. You could do it the way that I'm doing it. You could use one color for your base and another color for your swirl. If you don't have any kind of dyes or micas available, you can always go to your cupboard and pull out some cocoa powder. I recommend using about 2 teaspoons of cocoa powder to 1 cup of soap. I just mix this up until it's just emulsified, and then I'm going to pour off 1 cup of soap. You can see my batch size is pretty small. This is the smallest size that I make. It'll make 6 bars of soap. I want to make sure I pour this off before I add the fragrance, otherwise I'm fighting that discoloration in the swirl color, and I don't want to do that. So I have 1 teaspoon of titanium dioxide that I'm going to add to the 1 cup of soap, and I've just dissolved that in a little bit of water. There's been a little bit of discussion lately on a couple of blogs about how do you avoid getting clumps of titanium dioxide in your soap. And really, all you have to do is make sure that you add your titanium dioxide to the water well ahead of time, so it has time to absorb all that water, and then you won't have clumps. And when I do titanium dioxide in water, I almost always need to add a little stick blender to it to get it fully dispersed. I'm just tapping out the air bubbles there. The challenge with an in the pot swirl is that you want the texture of the soap to be at a pretty medium trace. You don't want it too light. And of course, if it gets too thick, then you have problems as well. So you really want to get it just kind of a thin pudding texture like this. I'm sure you can see that. Now I'm going to go back to my main base and add the fragrance. This is a vanilla hazelnut fragrance that I use in my whipped shea butter. I've never actually put it in soap before, so I thought it would be a good time to try it out. It's kind of a thick fragrance oil. Get a little closer view here. Oh boy, white's setting up fast. Looks about like the white did after I quit stick blending it, but now it's set up quite a bit more. Sometimes you can stir it down and it'll loosen up a little bit, so I'm gonna try that. See, look at that. You're not gonna get a thin wispy swirl out of that. It's gonna be a little bit thicker. Okay, so 2 keys in the pot swirl. One is texture. Got to get the right thickness of the soap. And the other one is not to over stir. I usually pick a couple different spots in the pot, and I'm pouring up high and down low. And then I'm saving a little dab in the bottom of the cup there to do a little swirl on top. Now, I'm just gonna take a couple passes here and do like a figure 8. And that's it. Here's my mold. And I'm just gonna pour that. I've got plenty of soap here. Knock it down a little bit. Now, for the top, just gonna do a little zigzag. And look at that, I think it really is gonna get a little bit wispy after all. Didn't do so bad. Do a little zigzag pattern like so. You don't want to cover it up too much. And then, just gonna grab my handy dandy bamboo skewer. These, I feel, are pretty much a must-have for every soaper. And then I just kind of do some squiggly lines back and forth in the top of the soap. It's possible I got a little too much white on top here, so I am going to dig down a little bit and see if I can pull some of that from underneath. That actually looks pretty good. And you can just do pretty much any old design you want. One more trick I want to show you real fast is how to keep the tops from getting ash on them. I have some rubbing alcohol in a spray bottle, and I'm just going to lightly mist over the top and then cover it with saran wrap. So I'm not actually going to let the plastic wrap touch the top of the soap. Just going to pull it tight like that. And then also, as far as insulating goes, I prefer to have my soaps gel, and so I will just wrap this in a couple of towels and let it set up overnight, and then tomorrow I will cut it. Okay, I think we're ready for part 2 of the weekly challenge of in the pot swirling. I have my colors all ready to go. Here's my pot of oils, and my fragrance that I'm using is a mango melon. It's very important to use a fragrance that's not going to speed up trace when you're going to do lots of colors. So usually a good fruity fragrance is pretty safe. Essential oils are usually safe as long as they're not spicy, like cinnamon and clove. So let's add some lye. Now obviously this is a little bigger batch than the first one. It's about 4 times as much soap actually. I'm gonna use my big 24 bar log mold. I really just want it to just be emulsified at this point. We can always stick blend more later if we need to. I've got my 5 colors ready. For a mango melon, I figured a nice peachy color. It's kind of a deep orange right now, so I'm not sure how it's gonna do, but I'm going to do 1.5 cups of soap for each color. I think that'll be really nice. This is a green mica, and I've been mixing my micas with water, and this one is doing everything it can to resist mixing into that water. I'm sure it'll do fine once it mixes with the soap. I've used about 1 teaspoon of mica for each one of these. If you want a real vibrant color, oh, this one is just a pink, which you can't really see because it's a pink cup anyway. But if you want a real vibrant color with micas, about 1 teaspoon per cup of soap is usually pretty good for that. So these might not be super vibrant, but that's all right because that's not really what I'm going for. I have to change up my shades so I don't make the same soap over and over again, right? And I've got a nice blue, almost turquoise blue. This is actually a 1 cup measure, so I'm just gonna over pour it a little bit. Get as much in there as I can. Probably not quite the full 1.5 cups. And then my last color is yellow, and that's in a green cup, so it doesn't look exactly yellow either. Okay, and then for the main pot, I'm gonna add, this is 1/2 tablespoon of titanium dioxide and some water. And what I had left of that orange. So I'm hoping it'll be a nice lighter peach color by the time I mix it in this much soap. So I'm gonna go do a little mixing and I'll be right back. All right, I've got my rainbow of colors and my nice peach colored base. It's definitely getting thicker and so are the colors. So I'm gonna pour real quick here. Start with some yellow. And once again, I'm gonna save a little bit to do the top. Hopefully I'll have time to do a little swirl on top. Looks great, doesn't it? Check that out. Okay, I'm gonna give it a, and that's it. Sorry you can't see all the way to the end here, but maybe I'll start in the middle. It's looking a little bit muddy. But hey, you don't know if you don't try, right? Now it's time to do the pretty stuff on top. So I'm just gonna do little globs, partly because that's all I've got. Okay, you ready for this? This is the fun part. Bamboo skewer. Soap maker's best friend. They're so cheap to buy at Walmart. You can pick up a whole pack. And I even reuse them, so. Last step, glitter. This is just a fine iridescent glitter, no color. This smells so good. I had my younger daughter smell it when I was getting ready to make it. She said it smells like Now and Laters. To me, it smells very melony and really yummy. So, can't wait to see what it looks like when we cut it. I will see you Saturday. Bye.